Well, hello and welcome. We wanted to thank you for being here for the 15th Annual Sunscreen Film Festival, and we're so glad to have you here with The Illegal. Would you like to introduce yourself and tell us a little bit about the story behind The Illegal and how you came to tell that?
Absolutely. Thank you so much, first of all. I'm really excited about the screening at Sunscreen Film Festival. So my name is Danish Renzu. I'm the director, writer, and producer of the film, The Illegal, which stars Suraj Sharma in the lead. And it's a very special film because it's also very personal. I also came to US 15 years ago as an immigrant to go to school, and coming from a very sort of middle class family, and sort of I experienced the whole immigrant life in US, chasing for the American dream. And I also met so many individuals who had similar stories like mine, and similar motives to come to US. And a lot of them were not able to make it, or were not able to sort of pursue their dreams because of various other reasons. So this film was just for sort of a tribute to life of an immigrant in US, which is not always what you think it is. It's not always happy-go-lucky. Your dreams are going to come true. There are a lot of sacrifices. There are a lot of choices these people have to make in order to uh, live their dreams. So this film was sort of based on a lot of real stories and a lot of real people I've met throughout my journey in US as an immigrant myself. And of course, I did get a chance to go to one of the best schools. I was able to, find a job I liked. I was able to make these movies, but there's a lot more people, many immigrants who are not able to sort of make these dreams reality. So the film was just to showcase the journey of an immigrant and the struggles and obstacles they face, and due to family pressure back home, and how still, there's this fire in them to sort of make their dreams come true. So that's what Illegal is all about. It's about dreamers and immigrants. Anyone can connect to it, not specifically immigrants, but also it's a story for student in US. It's his journey, and the tuition, the expenses, the sacrifices. So I think anyone can connect to the film. It's very universal with that theme, and talks about anyone who wants to pursue their dreams, and the obstacles that come in the way. Yeah,
One of the things I noticed is that the oblivion of the female character, she was completely unaware of his situation and his struggles and, oh, let's go to a party. Let's go. And it was great that she was inviting him, but it just seemed like she had no clue that he was living in a room with
correct.
multiple other people. And can you tell me about that?
Yeah, it was done on very purposely because she represented that American dream that Hassan, my protagonist named Hassan, who had come to US, and she represented that for him. So we didn't want to give, and that was more like a B story. It was not our main story. But we really wanted people to sort of see that side as well, where what he really wanted, just like Jessica, which, the life she had, and and the love story also is so unique. You never see this kind of sort of an Indian and an American woman right away connect and fall in love. So diversity was also something that I was very interested in bringing this relationship in the film. But of course, she represented that side where Hassan, the character, is so vulnerable. He's not willing to share his what he's going through with her, just because of he's scared that she's going to judge him or she's going to leave him. And that's the dream he wanted. So she represented metaphorically the dream Hassan is chasing for.
Well, speaking of dream, there were so many quotes that I took notes and I was writing things down because there were so many great lines. And one of them was wondering if that is all the American dream is, just photoshopped reality, a dream
There
that
we go.
felt so far away. Oh my gosh, tell me about that.
I'm so glad you brought that up, and it totally represented Hassan's plight, where he's, stands in that part of the film. There was a shop picture of Taj Mahal in the restaurant where Hassan used to work. I don't know if you got a chance to see. It's in a couple of scenes we see in the background, and that's where this whole voiceover came about. That I've noticed similar pictures in so many restaurants here in the US, and sometimes they just people over there in these fancy restaurants. You see all these things and, dream sort of representing the dreams and lavish life in India and all these artifacts, but the reality is something else.
And I'm seeing a theme in the notes that I took. I feel like a fool with all these dreams, and I don't even know how, I don't even know if they will come true. And then there's another one. It takes a courageous man to follow a dream, but it takes a wise man to know when to walk away from it. So
Yeah,
much
that's
information
the
in both
theme.
of
So
those.
yeah, the first one he mentions that to Jessica because he's totally, he's not going to school. He hasn't told her that he's been living in a mosque or, not has a house. He's homeless. And also at that point, he's finally got a job and stuff. But he's also scared that if he doesn't graduate, his family's not going to accept it. So he says that line to her. And knowing Jessica, who wants to go to Paris and wants to have fun when the summer comes, and he's totally, somewhere else. He doesn't want to give her all the details. So he says he's just unsure of whether his dreams are going to come true or not. And the second one that you mentioned, that's a really good one because that's the theme of the film. That's what his father believes in. He doesn't want him to, he never wanted him to go to film school. That starts from the very beginning conversation that he has with his uncle that my mother was supporting and she's living in this la la land and it's okay, you're going to make it work. Usually people come to US not from film school, from India. It's mostly for engineering or science, medicine. This was sort of a very unique choice that Hassan made. But his mother was supporting him, even though they're from a middle class family, they were not able to afford tuition. So that's the father's sort of theme of the film. What he says that that you know not everyone's dream come true. Sometimes you just have to give up.
I really liked the relationship that you developed between Babaji and Hassan.
Yeah,
That was just beautiful. And it was very telling, although Hassan had his rose colored glasses on and wasn't seeing the writing on the wall yet, but it was there all along, I think. That
yeah.
I
He's
love
a, he's a
that.
main supporting. He's a main supporting character, and he's exactly what Hassan becomes at the end of the film. So it's like a vicious cycle, and Babaji represented that. So I think Iqbal Thiba has done a wonderful job, and the whole film was inspired by a similar character who I had met back in restaurant somewhere in Pasadena. He was a Sikh man as well, a Sikh, and he had a similar sort of story where this whole thing came about. I wanted to make a film for Babaji.
Which brings me back to another one of your quotes in the film. It's in every face of every restaurant worker. And though
Correct.
sometimes to an outsider, every one of those faces looks the same. Every story is different.
It's different.
And
Yeah.
now I have a
I
story.
have a story,
I loved that.
and
That was
it's
so
mine to
great.
tell, and it's mine to tell. Yeah. As you know, he does pursue his dreams, and he makes a film based on his own real experiences, and that's the film we see at the end credits. So, for some people, you don't just need to be on the set and have these heavy equipment and all these people supporting you to make a film. It could also be internal and your own personal experiences, and I think that's a true filmmaker who finds a story, based on his own experiences, and I think that's what he ends up doing at the end of the film, which is the story of the restaurant workers around him.
One final quote that I wrote down: no one wants to be illegal, or no one wants to be an illegal. Can you tell us about that? Because I think, especially for people who live in this country, it's so easy to say, we don't want illegals, get them out. This feels like a
Correct.
very personal comment. Can you tell me about that?
The character Julie, who said that line, I was interviewing her, and we told her to improvise, and she improved, and that came about. It was so beautiful. I was like, oh my god, no one, we are not just illegal. No one can call us illegal, and I think that's the whole film is about. Even though Hassan becomes an illegal immigrant, or Babaji, or all these people, the film is about empathy. The film is about empathizing their plight, understanding why they come to these circumstances. It's not just you can just label someone, as you just mentioned, and say, oh, as an illegal immigrant, that's not okay. But some people do get into these circumstances which is beyond their control. It's not purposely, yeah, they're in the state and become, they're illegal.
Sort of sidestepping, tell me about casting. How did you cast this? Well done.
So, thank you. Yeah, yeah. I mean, casting is directing, as you know. I always wanted Suraj Sharma. I love Suraj Sharma. I watched him in Life of Pi, and Also, he's been doing these crossover films in US where, even Homeland series, he was so good, Million Dollar Arm, and most of these films are like Emmy or Oscar winning, um, projects. So I wrote the character with Suraj in mind, always, because the age group matched. He was also in film school in New York when I was writing the script. So we just directly reached out to the agent and it worked out. It was a miracle. He read the script and he said yes. Usually it's not that easy to sort of go through CAA and all these agents. But this one was, I think, meant to be kind of situation. He was just graduating when we started pre-production. So he graduated with his bachelor's and we started the film about his bachelor's journey, basically. And he also connected to it because he's also an immigrant. And then things happen miraculously. I mean, Iqbal Thiba, he's based in LA, he's done Glee, and I love his work. We had a really good casting agent, casting director, Sabrina, and we told her this is what I'm looking for, and we got these people. As far as the cast in India, I met them in film festivals with my previous film before. As you know, film festival is the best place to connect and network, and I told them that I would love to work with them in the future. So it was very easy to connect to them right away when I had the script and everything ready. But Suraj was always the first choice, and I was so lucky to have him.
Question about edit. You were the director, you were the
Hmm.
writer. So tell me about how you work with the editors. Are you involved a lot in the edit suite?
Yeah, yeah, I am. So basically, this time we had two editors. One was the Iranian editor, Hassan Dost. He's a lot of Majid Majidi films. He's an Academy-winning films he has done. So I really trusted his work when he got the first cut together in India. And then I had to come back to US, and then we couldn't sort of figure out how to go about it. So got another editor here in US, and I was constantly very much involved in the whole process. Once the assembly was made, but of course I was also, because I'm not an I'm very good with editing as well, but I didn't want to interfere too much because at the end each department should do what they are supposed to do, and I think I don't want to overwhelm someone with how I see the film and sort of take a beat. So I we did. So when the editing was happening, I took a couple of weeks off, totally, completely off from the film, and let the editor come up with like a good rough cut. And after that, we did a lot of focus groups in US, like at AFI, UCLA, USC. That really helped with a lot of feedback. We also got a really good consultant editor to come on board and help us with final notes to log the edit. So we did spend a lot of time to make sure not just the editor or my perspective as it comes in the edit, but also open to the audience and other people's feedback, which I think is very important because at the end the film is for others to watch. So I think I'm definitely involved, but I'm also very open to feedback. So it's a very collaborative sort of process for me. Yeah.
Well, I want to thank you for being here with us today. And I'm so
Yes.
grateful that you brought The Illegal to the Sunscreen Film Festival.
Oh,
So
absolutely. Thank you so much. It was a pleasure talking to you. Thank you.